Damn. Let's get this.
Unsung narrative, young dumb American, arrogant, throwing fits, ripping shit, tearing it, imperative. Then I'm killing this mic no matter where I live. These derelict rappers acting a fool, this embarrassing is flagrant. That's the nature of this entertainment, and we can't even change it. Guilty before arraignment, now the system tainted. But when we speak, they all laugh at us. And y'all wonder why I'm lacking trust. Try to fight a giant with attorneys that can back them up. That's church versus science, both sides start acting up. I'm late on my assignment, hopping up a mile high, climbing. Obviously never silent, new alignment, I'm defined, cannot describe it. Used to describe it as a young graffiti artist. Before the beard I always got carded. At every bar, even though my bar has been the hardest. The scars on my face and I ain't always been the smartest. But I'll show you where my heart is. I said I'll show you where my heart is. I can show you where my heart's at. See it on my sleeve, even if the beat stops my soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tuesday. Hanging with the fellas. Little sports nonsense and whiskey. The vibe is back. Ladies and gentlemen, hanging with the fellas. Robert, Pinky, how are we doing this evening, fine sirs?
Oh man, it's great. I'm so glad to be back. I was so mad that I had to miss last week, but hey, family was in town. Obligations had to be met, so I live by the creed.
As you should.
It is what it is, my friend. But you're back.
I am back. I'm excited. I crammed in a lot of stuff while my dad was here, so I'm excited to talk some shop.
All right, I love to hear it.
There's a few shop things to discuss.
Just slightly, just a few. This may be one of those episodes where we have to give ourselves an extra 15 minutes.
I mean,
we'll see.
We got to be careful with that. We know what happens if we start allowing ourselves extra time.
I mean, sometimes there has to be exceptions. Big things are happening here.
Oh, goodness.
We're reaching finales in a couple sports. Those are going to be talked about heavily, So, anyway, man, it's just so glad to be back with you guys. I love doing this with you. It's one of the greatest parts of my week.
It's weird when you don't do it, right?
It really pisses me off because I'm like, son of a bitch.
Whenever I miss a show, it feels a little weird. So
I feel so left out.
It's like, this is Tuesday. I'm supposed to be drinking whiskey.
I'm supposed to be doing something.
Talking shop with the boys. And if that doesn't happen, it's just the whole week's thrown off.
Yeah, man.
So, all right, boys. You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
All right. So, obviously, a lot of big things happened over Thanksgiving. It was football. Thursday football, Friday football, Saturday football, Sunday football. If you are
F1.
If you are a football fanatic, you had a pretty good weekend. So we're going to start a little bit with the NFL. And wasn't able to get some of the cooler graphics out there, so we're just going to have to make do with this one.
That's solid. What are you talking about? Why even say anything? It's solid. Everything you need to know is right there. Done. Yep.
Now, I would go out to mention, and I don't really know if I like this saying very often, but I feel like it probably fits in here. I don't know if we had Chicago and New England as the 1 seeds this late in the season on our bingo card. I'm pretty sure we didn't.
Check for reference.
No, we don't need to check that reference. I guarantee that is not what we had.
That's fair.
Although someone did say he expected Chicago to have a top 5 offense. Now, not exactly.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it. I'm still hurt.
He's on track to at least predict that they are playing decent football, surprisingly. But we talked about it before, right, Pinky? Live and die by that sword of the turnover. They're living right now.
They're eating really good right now, and I'm excited to see. Robert, do me a favor. Just can you, while we kind of talk around, can you pull up Chicago's remaining schedule? Kind of curious.
Man.
We're good. I got it.
Oh,
okay.
I forget that you've got the master key there.
I do. They got Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay, San Fran, Detroit.
I mean, that could be 1-4.
It would not surprise me to see them lose both to Green Bay.
Which that game did just get moved to primetime.
Did it get flexed?
One of those games just got moved to primetime.
It's got to be the one from
3 weeks from now.
Yeah, they've got to do it 3 weeks ahead of time.
They've got the win against Cleveland, you would assume. I think San Francisco, you could probably say, is a coin flip right now. Although San Francisco might be a little bit more healthy at that point in time, so it could be a little more interesting. And then Detroit, I mean, honestly, the way things are right now, I think they'd be favored at that. That game's at home. Their last game of the season versus Detroit is at home right now. So,
yeah, they got flexed to Saturday night football for week 16.
that Christmas weekend? Or is
Or
that a weekend before?
Yeah, weekend before. Because we play the Packers week 15, I believe.
Okay.
No, yeah. Yeah, because this is 14. We play the Raiders. Next week, after that, we play the Packers.
I think it would be a surprise to see Chicago finish as the 1 seed. I don't think it would be a surprise to see them in the playoffs at this point. But as you just discussed, that remaining schedule is by no means a cakewalk that's going to get you in.
Yeah, they're at 9-3, so they really 2 games. They win 2 games, they're in.
I think some could argue the best team in the NFC right now may not be first in their division, and that's Seattle. I don't think they have the best defense. I don't think they have the best offense. But like the Patriots, I think those units as a whole, as a team, are playing the best complementary football together right now. And when you have a run game, especially when it's a two-headed monster like that, and I do think Charbonnet and Walker are a two-headed monster, and then you've got JSN. Barner seems to be emerging a little bit as a tight end weapon that they like, or at least that Sam Darnold's willing to throw to. And Cooper Kupp looked like he was healthy coming back last week. They can move the ball on offense. That defense is still a little bit young, a little bit inconsistent, but it does show up for the most part. So I think Seattle could be argued, especially after the way the Rams looked this last week against the Panthers, that Seattle might be the best team right now, or at least playing the best football, but not necessarily ranked the highest.
Which, not to mention, and Caleb, I do want to touch on this since you did bring up the Seahawks, because, we're all Sam Darnold fans now, and I brought it up in the chat earlier. He is now 1 win away from tying both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning for most consecutive wins with 2 different franchises.
Which is,
that's a pretty amazing stat in its own right.
I don't think people will talk about it probably at all, but it should be a discussion. And people are probably like, well, the supporting cast around him. Well, yeah, but the supporting cast around Manning and Brady was pretty phenomenal. Look at the supporting
cast, though. And he comes in, and all of a sudden, he's a number 1 QB. He wasn't, and now he is. And now he gets moved to Seattle and is doing magic with the team he's got there. So, I mean, I think it's an amazing stat. So, cheers to Sammy, boy, because that's pretty impressive.
Cheers to Sammy. I was on that bandwagon all along. I was a front runner.
You were. I remember at one point, I'm pretty sure you were driving that bus. So more power to you, good man, for having the wisdom and the eyesight to spot that talent and recognize it was being wasted in other areas. So,
those USC quarterbacks, Pinky. I mean, they can sling it.
Well done, sir.
I love it. I love it so
Robert,
much.
I've got some bad news for you, my friend.
I don't want to talk about bad news. Why are you giving me bad news? I'm
in a good mood. He's about to let you know. He's about to let you know.
I know what he's about to let me know. We've already acknowledged this. We don't need to talk about it. It's fine. Because the counterpoint here, just go ahead and ruin my day, and I'll ruin my own day even further.
Oh, I like where this is going. All right, let's see how this plays out, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's say it this way. The Lions need the Packers to lose the next 3 games.
It's not gonna happen.
2 against the Bears, 1 against the Broncos.
Caleb, consult the gods that be.
Detroit is looking at, let's see here.
No, Green Bay. We're looking at Green
No,
Bay.
Pinky already gave it to you. He's right. He's 2 against Chicago, 1 against Denver. Chicago, Denver, Chicago. That's what Green Bay is looking at right now.
Yes, but that wasn't the question. Who's supposed to win those games? What did we pick?
Oh, I would say Green Bay wins both the Chicago games. I think Denver's a coin flip. It depends on which Green Bay offense and defense shows up.
Okay, thank you.
I think
That's
it
what I
could
was
be
asking.
very well argued that Green Bay, top to bottom, may have a more talented roster right now because of the offensive side of the ball. But that offensive side of the ball is way more inconsistent than what the Broncos have right now. And I don't think it's a big difference. I think Broncos would, you could say, have a better defense. I don't know if again, on paper, if you would say it's necessarily the better defense based on some of the names. Those names are starting to emerge, so I think people are having to recognize kind of who those guys are on the Broncos as national names kind of now. But that's an interesting one. I think you could call that a coin flip. I don't know.
Caleb, you said it exactly right. Which Green Bay team shows up? Because
Yeah.
they've showed up and played just awful.
And it is in Denver, which so I don't know, man. That's an interesting one. So, but
the
you
Lions
say
need that help.
Green Bay gets those 2. For Detroit, they're looking at Dallas, the Rams, and Pittsburgh.
I don't like any of those.
Me either.
The Rams
I
game,
like the Pittsburgh game.
They'll win the Pittsburgh game, and I do think they can beat Dallas because they can. I think they can outscore Dallas.
Oh, what? Whoa. Oh, no, sir. First of all, Amon-Ra is out. Okay. Laporta is out. And Dallas has what I would argue is the number 1 defense in the league right now. I mean, offense in the league right now. Dak, whether you want to like this or not, has entered himself into the MVP conversation based on the way he's been playing in his numbers.
Yeah, not
Just
yet.
threw up in my mouth a little bit.
He is.
No, numbers wise, he is, but the wins in the win column aren't going to put him in there right now.
That 6-5-1, right? They make the playoffs.
They make
We're
it
gonna
into the
get there.
playoffs,
I'm
then
just-
we can have that conversation. He's on the outside looking in when it comes to the MVP.
I think to say Detroit outscores Dallas when I think it's fair to say Dallas has had the better, more consistent offense this year is a bit of a stretch.
I know what those guys can do when they can run the football, and you can run the football on the Cowboys. Even
I would
they
argue
stand
that
today.
defense, since the acquisition of Keenan Williams, has been playing arguably top 10.
I think that has more to do with their opponents than it does them.
Maybe. But you could say the same against the Broncos if you're going to start throwing that around. I mean, the Broncos' schedule has been pretty cupcakey. They've gotten pretty lucky with who they've had to face on the offensive side of the ball this season.
All right, timeout. We did get off track. I didn't mean for that to happen. Pinky.
No,
you
you're
said
good. We're moving along. Where do you want to step back to, though?
Pinky said he was going to give me bad news, and he didn't finish delivering bad news.
Fair.
And then I still need to train wreck my own day. So like I'm still waiting here.
The Lions are probably not making the playoffs, buddy.
Yeah, because fucking the Lions' offense is dependent on Ben Johnson's offense, and when you have a brand new OC coming in, calling the offensive plays, and then Dan Campbell calls one game and they score a 50 burger. Like, I'm sorry, the Lions are not going to be doing anything sufficient. And
that's
yeah,
not the
no,
issue right
the
now.
Bears.
The
Well,
issue
be
is that
outside of the
O-line-
injuries.
The O-line is not very good right now, and that's
No, but again,
Goff needs
it's
to
still
be
a Ben
protected.
Johnson offense that's lacking in my opinion. It's just not there.
I don't even know if Ben Johnson puts up the same numbers with this O-line. They can still run the ball, but they cannot pass protect.
It's rough. It is rough right now.
True, but no, I mean, yeah, the Lions in every which way are screwed. So
And with the Bears being as good as they are right now, that's why they're screwed.
yeah, no, totally. And so But we even said it, and now it's not certainly expressed on our prediction sheet by any sort of means. But no, we had talked about the Lions really kind of just being in a rebuild year with where they're at. So it's kind of half expected. It is a shame because I still wanted them to continue to make the playoffs to at least get a chance, but understanding it is a rebuilding year, I gotta take it for what it is.
And not even a rebuilding year. I don't even think that's fair because they kind of have all the same pieces outside of the play caller.
Well, they lost a lot of their staff.
I think it is very underrated, and people don't truly understand the art and the chess match that is a play caller. And some guys have a knack for it, and some guys just know the offense. And there's a big difference between calling a game and calling a play. And a play caller is going to be able to go through a whole game with a specific idea of how they want to approach that. And then the ability to, regardless of what the defense is doing, still find a way to enforce that in some way. However they have to meander back around to get there, they still end up there. While somebody who just calls a play, you're going to hear a lot of that. They got out coached because you don't see the adjustment. You don't see a way around what the other person's doing because you don't have an idea of what you ultimately want to do and the ability to get there from different angles. So Ben Johnson is a play caller. I think that's been proven now. And what he's doing in Chicago, regardless of, you want to say it doesn't look good, it struggles, it's inconsistent, he's taking those pieces and doing what needs to be done to allow that offense to do just enough with what they have and smart enough to call the plays that are within the ability of the playmakers. And he's not asking too much right now. And that's a big deal. Whereas you see other teams that continuously struggle because I go back to it all the time, square peg, round hole. You're trying to force something that your team just isn't able to do. And instead of adjusting and figuring out what they can do and what can be successful, you keep banging your head against the wall.
The NFC is interesting because it's a lot of chalk right now. And there's only two teams kind of knocking on the door. The Carolina Panthers are knocking on the door of the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? They're 7-6, one game behind the Bucks. One game behind the Bucks. And then we've got the Cowboys, as we've already talked about. They're 2 games back. Actually, kind of 1.5 because they got that tie. So those are the only 2 teams that have any hope. If we're burying the Lions and saying their hopes are dashed, those are the only other 2 teams that have a shot at getting in.
Who is the second team?
It's Carolina and Dallas are the only 2 teams that have they're still mathematically there. Everybody else is really gone. Vikings are gone. Cardinals are gone. New Orleans gone. Atlanta's gone.
You're really going to say Detroit is I mean, they're right there with Dallas for that last wild card, I would say. It's between those 2.
But they've both of those have an uphill battle. San Francisco's 9-4.
I know.
So they're multiple games behind San Francisco. That's why I'm saying I don't think the Lions will make it.
That's a good point.
Carolina can still win the division because they're just a game behind the Bucks. And Dallas technically is only a game and a half behind Philly right now. I don't think they'll win, but mathematically they are knocking on the door. They beat Detroit this weekend, and Philly loses. I don't know who Philly's playing, but if they lose, now we have a conversation.
Philly plays the Chargers, so that's interesting.
That's a really interesting game. I'm excited about that.
But then they finish Vegas, Washington, Buffalo, Washington.
Mark it out. They're making it all. They're They're
San
not losing those games.
Francisco, they finish by Tennessee, Indy, Chicago, Seattle.
That's tough.
That's gross.
That's interesting.
That's tough.
Dallas finishes Vegas, Green Bay, Jacksonville, KC, Chargers.
They play the Lions this week.
My bad, that was Denver. Sorry. I was like, that doesn't sound right. It's Detroit, Minnesota, Chargers, Washington, New York.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win 2 or 3 of those.
I would say they get 3. Think about who Minnesota's quarterback is. I think they win at least 3 of those. Washington, New York, Minnesota, I would say are wins for Dallas. Detroit and the Chargers. Let's just say Dallas wins all 5 of those. Does 11 wins keep them in or out?
They would need the 49ers to only win 2 more games.
Well, look, I say Green Bay would win the division, right? But here's where it gets real interesting. Green Bay finishes Chicago, Denver, Chicago, Baltimore, Minnesota.
That's a tough stretch.
Depending on which Green Bay team shows up, they may only win that Minnesota game. And then Green Bay goes from the 6th seed all the way out. Dallas climbs in.
Right.
This is a little wild the way this last 4 weeks are going to go here.
Dallas needs Green Bay and San Francisco to falter, or the Eagles to lay an egg, but I don't think the Eagles are with that remaining schedule. So
it'd be hard to see that happening, but boy, that team seems to want to F around and find out a whole lot.
Switching over to the AFC, we talked about New England being the 1 seed temporarily, as Denver plays Vegas this week. If Denver wins, they will be the 1 seed.
You know what's great, though, about this graphic is the Chiefs aren't on it.
The Chiefs are in a tough spot at 6-6 right now.
Yo, New England finishes by right now. Buffalo, Baltimore, the Jets, Miami.
Denver's going to have to win out and only lose 1, whereas then they need to hope New England loses 2 of those.
Whew. Oh, man.
Now, I do think New England could lose to Buffalo and Baltimore.
This is so interesting. Can you remember the last time, before we get into the AFC, Pinky, just to throw this out there as a thought in mind, can you remember the last time the NFL playoffs were truly this wide open, 1 through 7, as far as the seeds and who could just walk through and win it all?
I think it's a little bit more muddied on the AFC than the NFC this year. The AFC,
I just mean there's no clear favorite, right, on either side.
No, there's not. That statement I would agree with. There's no clear-cut winner. Like, there's no team that you're like, oh my God, that team should absolutely go to the Super Bowl and win it all. We don't have that team this year.
Can you remember a time, and let's be honest, whether you like it or not, Detroit is still, if they get in, a true Super Bowl contender. Dallas, if they get in, I would say would be a dangerous team. KC's not in right now, but if they got in, everybody would be like, oh, they're the favorites still. Like, even teams that aren't in the playoff picture yet, or currently, I should say, people would still argue are playoff bound and Super Bowl favorites, which is, I can't ever remember that happening.
The way this graphic plays out right now is bad for Denver. They need that 1 seed, or they need KC to get into that 7th spot because they don't match up well against Buffalo.
I would disagree with that right now.
I wouldn't. Buffalo's run game would run over Denver.
I don't think it would, because they literally have no weapons on the outside. Denver can literally single coverage and put 8 in the box the entire game.
What happened last year in the playoffs? Almost the same exact team.
Last year's different.
They
do
ran
it differently
over Denver
this year. I'm just saying, man, if I was Denver, I wouldn't be as concerned this year.
The horses are the same on defense. on the D line. The
Yeah, but
horses are the
experience.
same.
You go through that and you realize, all right, man, we're just going to single and 8 in the box. Good luck. I just don't see how that doesn't play out well. Buffalo has struggled so much to throw the ball this year.
Yeah, Buffalo's run
If
game,
they beat you throwing the ball with your secondary, then give them props and walk away knowing you got beat. But that's the risk. Those are the cards I would play.
I think KC is a better matchup for Denver than Buffalo, in my opinion.
I think the way this sits right now, based on all things, New England would be thrilled to see them on that side of the bracket, because whether Pitt or the Chargers win, both teams are so up and down and injured that you're not that concerned there. And Indy and Jacksonville, based on what they've shown as of late, New England would have to feel really good sitting there looking at an AFC title game in Foxborough. The way that looks right now, damn. And the fact that you don't have Lamar, Joey B, Patty Mahomes in the playoffs, that's wild too. It completely changes the dynamic of what you're thinking about if you have to go on the road, if somebody else is coming to your house.
The big matchup this week in the AFC is Houston and Kansas City.
Let's go Houston.
Because Houston's 7-5, they're right there knocking on the door. And if they beat Kansas City in Kansas City, they pretty much drive a nail in that coffin. Not mathematically yet, but I think it'd be tough for KC to overcome that because they would need help at that point.
So everybody ahead of KC, well, not everybody, but a few of these teams ahead of KC.
Everyone. The Chargers, the Jaguars, and the Colts. Well, not the Colts.
Not the Colts. Buffalo. The Broncos and Buffalo have all beat Kansas City. So the other thing that Kansas City is facing right now is when it comes to, you can't just tie one of these teams in record because you'll lose the very first tiebreaker, which is head-to-head. You have to at least be a game ahead of them. So in that sense, KC is an extra game behind whatever the record shows. Because again, they lose the immediate head-to-head tiebreaker. So that puts them in a very big hole, and they're finishing out here with, Houston, the Chargers again, Tennessee, you like that, Denver, and then Vegas. Give them 2 games. But you look at those other 3, if they don't win at least 2 of those other 3, the likelihood of them being in the playoffs is slim to none.
They got to win out.
I would say you win 4 or 5, there's still a situation there where you look okay. But even that, I'm saying they don't get. I just don't see how they get that. I just don't see, based on what they're looking at right now, how they get to where they need to be. Now, I will not say all of that and then sit here and act like I'm some kind of fool and I'm writing P. Mahomes and the boys off. They could easily win out and go on a run and win the Super Bowl. They've proven such. They're capable of such. But the way they've played this year up until this point, based on what I've seen and the way the other teams that they're playing have shown, they get 3 of those, maybe 4 if they're lucky. And then they have a chance. But I think 3 is asking a lot.
They would need a lot of help.
You're telling me there's a chance.
They need to win all 5. They got to win all 5. 4 of them, I still think you got Jacksonville that'll be at 10 wins. I think you'll have the Chargers at 10 wins. The Broncos are already at 10 wins.
Jacksonville finishes Indy, the Jets, Denver, Indy, Tennessee.
They're getting 2 of those for sure. That puts them at 10 wins. And they have
Houston
the tiebreaker.
finishes KC, Arizona, Vegas, Chargers, Indy.
They're going to get at least 2 more of those. That puts them at 9. They need 3.
Indy finishes Jacksonville, Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Houston.
Yeah, they're out. But if
Kind
they
of
win
feels
2
that
more,
way, doesn't it?
if they win 2 more of those, then again, well, they don't have the tiebreaker on KC because they lost to KC. So they have to win They have to win.
Who's sitting
3.
at 8, 9, and 10 in the AFC right now?
Jacksonville's 8-4. Indy's 8-4. Houston's 7-5. Buffalo's 8-4. Chargers are 8-4. Denver's 10-2. So technically, if the Chargers overtook the Broncos,
That literally did not answer my question, my dude.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate you running that down. Who is sitting in the 8 and 9 spots right now?
I don't have that.
Oh,
I've got the standings list that you sent. I'm just using that. That shows me
my
the
bad.
records.
My
It doesn't
bad. I
show
got you.
me who's in those spots. KC is 10th, I believe.
Because I think Baltimore's sitting in 8 right now, if I remember right, because of
But they're tied with Pittsburgh, so
Right.
They're making it over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a train wreck.
I don't know, man. Baltimore might be a bigger train wreck right now, in all honesty. And Lamar may or may not be hurt again. That's a whole nother issue in and of itself. All right.
I do think
Pitt, Baltimore, they're 6 and 6.
Robert said it best. It's good. It looks good that the Chiefs are not on here. They've been in the playoffs way too many times. They've made everybody's lives horrible. We've had to watch red every year.
It's
We don't
really
need it no more.
KC and Baltimore. That's it. Everybody else is pretty much done.
But Baltimore's probably just winning the division. So like KC's not really having to worry about Baltimore like record wise because Baltimore's gonna win the division.
Baltimore's got Pitt, Cincinnati, New England, Green Bay, Pitt.
They're gonna win 3 of those. Pittsburgh's a dumpster fire, bro. They just are. They're somehow
the way
Aaron
some of these
Rodgers.
schedules run out and that whole any given Sunday kind of thing, I could see a scenario where 3 of these teams currently listed don't make the playoffs.
It's a division game, of course. Steelers and Baltimore. It's a division game. Weird shit happens, but like I'm still surprised that like Aaron Rodgers can't get the ball to DK Metcalf. Like he just can't do it. DK Metcalf is the worst fantasy draft pick I've made all year. And thankfully, my team's still making the playoffs.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Like the inconsistency with DK in Seattle too is part of the reason Seattle was willing to let him walk. He had these big moments, and then he'd no-show a lot of times. Whether that's him or the offense, I don't quite understand, but it's true. And now it's getting magnified in Pittsburgh with an aging Aaron Rodgers, who, as much as I wanted to believe, and probably foolishly a little bit, that he was going to be able to ball out, he's just not.
Well, I think we believe that Pittsburgh's O-line would be better than it is, and it's not.
Well, we definitely did that. That's definitely true.
Robert, what do you see on the screen that gets you excited?
I mean, of course, seeing the Broncos back in there, I mean, that's without a doubt. No question there. I mean, to be quite honest, it's just nice seeing a little bit of new blood. There's kind of a little bit of everything right now. Like, we know it's going to change, but the Seahawks are looking decent. They have somehow found a right chemistry.
I mean, we went to a Seahawks game. We rooted for the Seahawks, so I think we kind of have a vested interest in how the Seahawks do.
Absolutely. So I'm very interested by that. The Packers definitely surprising. If they can somehow manage to win, great. The Eagles definitely, I feel like, are just falling to pieces. They're just a house of cards at this moment. So I mean, that's kind of exciting because we're not going to get a repeat. I mean, it's kind of boring when that happens, in my opinion. Just because the Eagles have been so consistent lately. I just want to see new teams in the Super Bowl.
I got one. I'm pretty shocked about Jacksonville. I know.
True.
I think was it last year we said they might, or maybe it was 2 years ago. We said they might have the 1 seed.
I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Was it last year? And for a little bit, they had the 1 seed. Like, they were right there. And then they kind of fell off. But it's kind of strange to see them.
It is a little bit.
8-4. They haven't played great in almost any game, but here they are, 8-4.
Here they are. So, Caleb, do you think T-Law is still worthy or no?
He's never liked T-Law, bro.
I know.
He would have taken Justin Fields #1.
And where's Justin Fields now?
I think there's a lot of reasons for that. Not all others' fault. Justin would have to take some blame for that, no doubt. But boy, if you think T-Law is going to turn it around and be a franchise quarterback on the level of which he's being paid and where he was drafted, I think you need to start looking elsewhere really quickly. I truly, and I've said this before, I think he got a name off of one big, almost lucky throw in the college football championship game that kind of went right through a DB's hands into his receiver's hands up the sideline and pretty much won a national championship. And I think he lived off of that for 3 years at Clemson and then got drafted number 1 with all this hype. And he has yet to live up to any of it. Not even close to any of it. And they still paid him like he's been a true franchise number 1 savior. He's not going to be. And like, I don't look at what Liam Cohen did last year with Baker, a former number 1 pick. Look at what Liam Cohen is doing this year with T-Law. Roughly, in all honesty, the same amount of years into the league of when he was coaching both of them. Outside of outside of Tampa Bay having a slightly better wide receiver core.
When healthy.
We've talked about this. I still think it's the best wide receiver core in the league after what they've shown after their top 4 dudes went out. Like, it's stupid. But anyways, it's not like Jacksonville doesn't have some dudes on the offensive side of the ball to make some things happen. And they're just – the engine that drives that offense is a little bug, and it's just putting.
I got another one. I just want to toot our own horn here. We're not right we're usually wrong on our schedule prediction. But I had a buddy reach out this week. Fedorsha, Robert, you met in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Did you really have the Broncos at 10-2? Did you think the Broncos would be 10-2 this year?" And I said, "Well, actually, we predicted it on our podcast. We have visual evidence of us predicting the Broncos being 10-2. So yes, we did.
Let's fucking go."
Now we got there in totally different ways, but here we are.
Amazing. Yes. I love that.
We're not right. I think this is one of the few things we're right about this year is the Broncos.
What's funny is what we're actually sitting right about kind of in a lot of ways, and not in a lot of ways as well, but our records for a lot of teams this year are correct. The games may not be. But usually we're nowhere close on anyone. Like, way out of the realm. And we do it every year anyways because it's fun. And
we kind of know what we're doing.
Some conversation. This year is interesting.
Love it. Cause for celebration.
Kudos to the Broncos. Hopefully they play a better game this week against the Raiders than they played the last time. And then we'll be 11-2, and we will be in first place in the AFC.
Let's go.
And then we got 2 big games coming. Green Bay and KC. So lots of fun. We've got more to talk about next week. Injuries are starting to pile up for some teams.
It's gross.
Should be interesting down the stretch.
Hey, just remember, 1 through 8, 1 through 9 on both sides. It's wide open. Every team's got a flaw that can be exploited. It's going to be whether or not that team can minimize that flaw and allow the other team not to take full advantage of it. And we've said that's true for all teams, all of them. And if you don't believe us and you refuse to accept that truth, go look at the Carolina Rams game last week, okay? Just go look at that game and then come back and have a conversation with us.
That game made zero sense. It was funny. I was with a buddy, hadn't seen him in a little while, and beforehand he called us while we were driving to his house, and he was like, "Hey man, like you starting to put some bets together." And on his parlay, we got every game right except for the Rams. And we said we did say like I don't know. Anytime somebody's a 10-point favorite, sometimes you just take the dog. Take the dog.
Well,
and
the West Coast to East Coast, early window, always bad ideas. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. But yeah, that's bum.
So from one playoff bracket to another. This one's a little outdated, so unfortunately, I could only grab the only good one out was about 4 or 5 days ago. So
because
I
it
got
released again
no
tonight.
comment on any
It
of
released.
these games.
It released tonight.
I'm gonna sit and drink my G&T and listen to Caleb go.
well, I'm going out on a limb here. I don't think actually I'm not going on a limb here. I don't know if I see a way Ohio State just doesn't win the whole damn thing again. I don't know if I've seen any team play. They've played damn good football all year against all comers. And I just maybe I don't know. We haven't seen Indiana and Ohio State this year, right?
See that on Saturday.
Oh, they play Saturday?
Big Ten championship game.
Okay. Well, that's the Heisman game right there. If Mendoza wants to win the Heisman, play a great game against the number 1 team in the country, and you might just lock it up because I don't think there's any front runners right now.
If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. We have to look this up. Robert, maybe if you could grab this. When's the Heisman vote due? I believe it's due before those games play.
Oh, yeah, that I don't know.
Now, if we're being honest, and I think you can say this for a lot of teams this year.
It's due on Monday.
Oh, so it is after the championship games. Yeah, you're right, Pinky. That could be Mendoza's chance for sure. If we're being honest, who has Ohio State played this year outside of Texas? Week 1, which that was a good game. Texas had a chance to still win late,
It was
or
a
at least
close
tie
game.
it late, I should say. So outside of Indiana this weekend, who have they played? Because I look at this schedule, and the best team I see on here is Michigan late in the season. And I wouldn't even say Michigan's that good of a team this year. Who's Indiana played?
No one.
Nobody except Oregon. And they did beat Oregon in Oregon.
I could see them beating Alabama. I could see Indiana beating Alabama. I don't know about Ole Miss.
I think I just think this is far more wide open than people want to believe. I saw a post the other day online. Somebody was talking about if Ohio State wins it this year, they'll be one of the greatest teams ever to play college football and maybe the best. And I literally had to respond, they won't even be in that conversation. A lot of teams have gone undefeated in the history of this sport and are not mentioned as one of the greatest teams to ever play. They would be on that list. Yeah, you went undefeated. Yeah, you won it all. You're not one of the best teams ever. And I'll say that of last year's team as well. And keep in mind, I said last year's championship was the hardest championship to ever win in college football history. That doesn't mean I think that's the greatest team to ever play in college football. Because if other teams in the past had an opportunity to go through a playoffs, I think they would have rolled right through it. So just because you had the hardest path to a championship doesn't mean you're the best team ever. They are different things. Two things can be true at once kind of thing, right? So I think this season's wide open outside of, if I'm being honest, whatever G5 team shows up.
We will see. I don't know. I don't like it.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Let's give the rundown here for real, because right now, as it stands, Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech is now 4. Oregon 5, Ole Miss 6, Texas A&M is now 7 after their loss to Texas. Oklahoma 8, Alabama 9. Notre Dame 10, BYU is at 11, and Miami is at 12. Texas is just on the outside at 13, and Vanderbilt is right behind them at 14. Now, Pinky, based on that top 12, there's two things that I take away from that. If you're already, and I've said this since it started, let's be clear. If you're already in the playoffs before the championship game of your conference, win or lose should not knock you out of said playoffs. The second thing I believe, as I'm looking at this, the top 12 does not include the group of 5. So whoever the highest rated group of 5 is, which right now is Tulane at number 20, North Texas is at 24, James Madison is at 25. They're all in their championship games. So depending on who shows out the most, could jump one of them in these rankings. So any 3 of those G5 teams are still in play. Which means, as of right now, based on these current rankings, Miami should be the one that gets bounced. Which then creates another interesting point because head-to-head, Miami beat Notre Dame.
And they have the same amount of losses.
So how Notre Dame is still ranked ahead of Miami, I don't understand. The other really interesting thing, and then this will swing us into the last college football topic here because I know we've got some F1 and then our nonsense. And I said I would dive into it this week, and then next week we go full bore when the final playoffs are announced. Heisman's ready, everything. We're going to talk college football next week.
And/or.
Well, this is our dipping the toes in the water, if you will. Based on the standard that the committee has already set, Ole Miss should be bounced from the playoffs. The committee already said last year with Florida State, you're missing your starting quarterback. We believe that's enough that you are no longer one of the 12 best teams in the country, and we're going to downgrade you in the standings. If that's true, and you're going to hold to your own standards, then Ole Miss not having a whole lot of their coaching staff, including their head coach, should be removed from the playoffs. Do I agree with that? Hell no. I said Florida State should have been in last year. If the committee did that this year to Ole Miss, which based on their current rankings, it doesn't look like they will. They're sitting at 6, and it's already announced Lane Kiffin's not going to be there. So the likelihood of Ole Miss not being in it at the end is that would be you want to watch things get set on fire. Go ahead and let that happen next week, committee. But I'm just saying, based on their standards, that wouldn't you guys agree that's what should happen? Whether we agree with it or not, that's the standard they set, is it not?
Right. No, you're totally right. Although I mean, I don't know.
They still think the players on the field are still all there, so you're okay. That's what they could argue is the difference, I guess.
Florida State showed how awful they were without their quarterback, which again, most teams would be. Most teams would not be good without their top quarterback.
But again, though, they went on a guy who had minimal prep, minimal reps, minimal opportunity to prepare for that situation. They still went out and won. They were undefeated. Undefeated or one loss?
They were undefeated. It was like 2 years ago, actually.
Yeah, sorry. You can't. That's crazy. Again, anything can happen on the field. Whether you think that's a big deal or not, the other team's starting quarterback could have got hurt on the first play of that game, and then all things are even again. Like I can't imagine
and that was
making
also
such a crazy determination.
But that was also before the expanded playoffs. I think
you're right. Thank you. I said last year, it was 2 years ago when it was the 4 teams still. But still, I don't care.
As a 4 team, I wouldn't have put them in. In 12 teams, sure, I'll put him in.
Yeah,
But
it's
not
tough.
at 4.
It's tough. So Ole Miss should get in. I'm just saying that's another interesting conversation that the committee has now created for no reason because of things they've previously done and decisions they previously made. But Ole Miss is in. I think BYU should be in, regardless of what happens in the championship game. They have one loss right now, Pinky. That one loss is to Texas Tech, who is the number 3 team in the country right now. If they lose on Saturday, it will be again to the number 3 team in the country. So unless you get blown out, wouldn't you say that that means they're one of the best teams in the country? So I think that has to be a mindset. If you make your championship game and you're already sitting in a position where you should be in, a loss in your championship game, regardless of the outcome, should not move you out. I just don't believe in that. Miami should be over Notre Dame. Notre Dame should be the first team out right now, looking in. And it's going to get real interesting after this weekend's playoffs. I mean, after this weekend's conference championship games. Lane Kiffin set the world on fire, according to everybody. And he burned his good reputation to the ground that he had built back up after 6 years in Oxford.
He had to take that job, though. He had to take that job.
I'm baffled that people are yeah, I get Lane Kiffin has a reputation. What do you want him to do? If let's just say all things played out perfectly and Lane Kiffin did everything exactly the best way he possibly could, in which is, boy, I can't pass up this opportunity. I think it's the best job in the country. This is the opportunity I have to go win national championships. This college, this program believes in winning at a level Ole Miss never will. Whether that's because they can't or they won't is a different conversation. Ole Miss just won't be on that level. LSU says, hey, you know what? Job's yours. We'll even wait until after the season to announce you as the coach. Sound good? He's like, yes, thank you so much. I want to coach this team. It means a lot to me to go and coach my team after making the playoffs, having the best season in Ole Miss history. Thank you. Ole Miss athletic director. Hey, Lane, we want a decision now. Or else. Or else what? Well, then we're not going to let you coach in the playoffs. Okay, well, I'm going to I hate to say it, but I'm going to take the LSU job. They're willing to offer me more as far as what they're able to provide for the program than you are. Okay, well, you're not coaching for us anymore. Peace out. Goodbye. Could have he handled some things better? Could have he said some things better? Probably. Does acting like a petulant child and telling him, well, if you don't let me coach this team in the playoffs, then I'm going to take all the offensive staff with me? If he said that, yeah, that's bad. There's no defending that kind of stuff. But if we're being honest, what was he supposed to do? The adults in the room that create the rules that could easily change these rules and no longer make them an issue refuse to do so.
In all sports, there should be no coaching hires until this season is officially over. Period. End of day.
Yep.
The season is not over. Because I think it's a bad look for any coach to leave their kids and leave. Because they can't even do anything right now. They're not coaching games. He's not coaching LSU. He should be able to finish the season at Ole Miss. Those kids that have been with him all year, multiple years, he should get to finish that out. And it's only because we are so dumb to not just make it a deadline of when the season is officially over. You
Don't
can
say
hire
we.
coaches.
I am not going to allow you to throw us in that bus. The NCAA, the coaches fraternity, the powers that run college football, this is what they want. If they didn't, they would change it. It's that simple. There is no other way around that. And to take it a step further, they go, well, but you know what? They have to do this, and it's because of the signing day that starts tomorrow and the recruiting periods. Move that too. Oh, problem solved. I don't care if it goes into the second semester of the school. Guess what? They can re-enroll. And they can be enrolled and then just start in the fall or take summer classes, whatever they need to do to catch up. There are ways around that for the athlete and the student that wants to move schools.
And some of these recruits in high school, they're not even done with their season. It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, on another note within the college fraternity here and coaching, and Pinky, I say this a little bit tongue-in-cheek to the group earlier, but boy, if Penn State didn't death sentence themselves, I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn close. Because when they fired Franklin, I said it was a mistake. They overreacted. I felt like it was very much not a product on the field, but boosters behind the scenes who didn't like the way he was running the program, and they had enough pull to finally get the AD to pull the trigger and fire him. And that has snowballed into a catastrophe for Penn State. Every coach they've gone after has told them no. I don't even know how far down their list is, and they'll never admit it. But they're minimum middle of the alphabet at this point. Okay? Minimum that far down the list. National Signing Day starts tomorrow, and they have no head coach. They have no path forward. They have no program. They have no identity. They have nothing to sell to these recruits outside of, hey, we're really want to go to Penn State? James Franklin, then on top of all of that, has been poaching all the top recruits that Penn State had committed to Virginia Tech right now. There is not an up right now for Penn State.
Balls.
They are going to feel this, and they are going to feel this for a while. Because you're going to be looking at a situation where unless you find one of the top recruiters and can fill in the gaps really quick next year, you're looking at multiple years and probably a new head coach before this could potentially get turned back around. And I'm going to be honest with you. The name I like the most in this cycle right now was the North Texas head coach that decided to go to Oklahoma State for some reason. That dude, you go look at his track record. I'm not going to give it to you right now. Let's just say I think when you finally look up who that is, the North Texas head coach, and you go look at what he's done and who he's been associated to in his rise on this path, you're going to be impressed. And you're going to go, damn. Yeah, that's probably the dude who should have got one of the bigger jobs. And somebody should have taken that chance and ran with this rising talent. But Penn State's in a lot of hurt right now. A lot of hurt. And I don't see it getting better anytime soon. Good news for Virginia Tech fans, though. You ain't going to be doormats much longer, I do not believe. Enter Sandman's going to have some meaning behind it again, and that place could be rocking. Could be rocking. So, good for them, for sure. I think it's fun when Blacksburg is hyped. I think that's good for college football. I honestly have never thought Penn State has been much. I think they've kind of always been a no-name in the sense that you could look back on college football history and remove them. And I'm not trying to say this to diss anybody. I really am not. This is just my perspective. You could look back on college football history without Penn State in it, and I don't think you would miss much of the story. Whereas if you remove Virginia Tech, I think the singular Michael Vick experience and what that did for the game has more impact than a lot of what Penn State has one national title. That's it.
Penn State was better in the 80s than Virginia Tech will ever be.
I know, but I'm saying, like, what did Penn State do?
Penn State has continually put out good players. They've had good teams. They're like, that's just a horrible take, Caleb.
You're not listening to what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying they weren't good. I'm saying you could take them out of the history books, though, and you're not missing much of the story. What Michael Vick and Virginia Tech did had a bigger impact.
You could take the Cornhuskers out of the 90s and like nobody would fucking care. So like,
that's not what we're talking about. Whether they would care or not, you take Nebraska. No, Pinky, you take Nebraska out of the 90s and it completely changes the history and the story of college football.
Penn State in the 70s and 80s were a competitive football team. They were considered one of the powerhouses. That's a bad take, man. Let's move on. We need to
You're not again. Okay, you're not listening to what I'm saying, though. Like you're. I
don't know what correlation you're trying to make because it doesn't sound like a good take to me at all.
Because you're not trying to even listen to the take. You're just automatically poo-pooing it because you're thinking I'm trying to downgrade Penn State. Outside of the whole Sandusky situation, Penn State was not especially towards the end. After when was their championship? 1990. People haven't thought about them as a quality powerhouse program competing for national championships really since then. They are an Iowa of college football. And that's crazy to say because Penn State has this huge name. But they are continuously 8-4 kind of thing. That's what they were. Like this above mediocre. And they have this huge name because Joe Paterno had so many wins. But those wins didn't equate to a whole lot. Whereas you look at all these other programs that are in the top of college football wins in the history of their programs, all those wins equated to a lot of championships. So Penn State's won championship. Yes, they have that. Yes, they were really good for a long time. But Penn State as a program, what did they do for college football? I'm saying the singular Michael Vick era of Virginia Tech, as small as it was, had a huge impact on college football. A huge impact. That's all I'm saying. I'm just comparing the impacts that each program has had. I'm saying I think you could argue that Virginia Tech, because of that...
I would say Michael Vick had an impact, not Virginia Tech.
Okay, you could argue that too. I wouldn't hate that. I'm just saying he was at Virginia Tech when it happened.
Right. He changed the game for a lot of athletes out there who now could run the ball in college, throw the ball, and change kind of what we think of athletic quarterbacks. Virginia Tech just happened to be the school he went to. They don't have anything else to hold their hat on.
They haven't always been this bad, though. They were a pretty solid program for a while.
But they've never been that great either, competing for championships, as you said. So,
but that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think Penn State has either. I think that's what
if you want to say Penn State's just not that great, I will totally accept that. Kind of using Virginia Tech as like an example of like why they're not as good. I don't like that at all.
That's not what I was doing,
you
though.
Just say Penn State sucks.
Robert, am I explaining this well? Do you understand what I'm trying to say, or are you just with Pinky here?
I mean, I'm kind of indifferent because I can't really compare anything because I don't.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not trying
I
to.
can't have an opinion on this.
I'm not trying to say Penn State wasn't good. That's not what I'm trying to say. That is by no means what I'm trying to say. They were a quality program. They just didn't win anything outside of 1 year.
So you're telling me they weren't special. Got it.
Which I will accept that argument.
Iowa. Like, again, Iowa. Right? You're not going to sit here and be like, Iowa, oh my God, they're so amazing. Like,
we've been beating this dead horse.
We're moving on.
Fair enough. I'm not trying to have this like hot take. I'm just trying to, this very singular thing, the impact of the programs on the sport as a whole. That's it. That's it. I'm not trying to say Virginia Tech is a better program overall than Penn State.
So I would just counter your argument with Penn State has put out a lot more NFLers than Virginia Tech ever has. So Penn State's had more of an impact than Virginia Tech ever has. Moving on.
On the NFL, maybe, if that's your argument.
Move on. We're beating a dead horse. It's screaming.
And by the way, not beating a dead horse. That was a fun little conversation.
Oh my gosh, I thought we'd never get here. But
we're here, Robert. So take it away.
I know, like, geez. I was just waiting for that to get over, and that felt like an eternity.
Oh my God! Shut the fuck up. Easy there, Tiger. Jeez,
I
Louise.
felt myself age for a second. Now I know what Pinky feels like. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, man, F1, what a great weekend. Max coming in clutch because McLaren's strategy was just absolute hot, steaming pile of crap. Like, I can't understand how they got there and what their strategy was in keeping either of them out. I really don't. It blows my mind, and I think it handed Max the win. On top of that, everyone needs to chill on Kimmy. He's getting absolutely berated for letting quote unquote Lando pass him to get into a higher point status. That's absolute dog shit. Kimmy's car failed and he oversteered and he had to go wide. That's what happened. That was not Kimmy's fault, and he did not let Lando Norris through.
I'll take it a step further. Who gives a shit if he did?
Apparently everyone else, because this kid's being
that's
ripped
his
apart.
business and Mercedes' business. For whatever reason, they wanted to let it happen. If that is the case, it does not matter why or if it did.
Not at all.
Because here's the deal. Everybody for the entire season has had the same opportunities to get to the point where they needed to be a champion. One singular incident in that situation does not hold the cards to anything, in my opinion. Even if they did know at that very moment that swap would help Lando get an extra 2 points. Don't give a shit. Really don't.
No. Terrible. So anyone that's going off hating on Kimmy, you're terrible people and awful takes. That wasn't the case. Now, if Lando finishes outside of third, I think is what Caleb, you and I were talking about earlier.
I've got it right here. So Lando wins if he finishes third or better, period. Outright. If he finishes third or better, he wins.
There you go.
If Max finishes first and Lando finishes fourth or worst, Max wins. And then you can go second and eighth, third and ninth, and then Piastri has to finish in a certain order too. So Max has a couple outs outside of that.
Okay.
Lando has a ton of outs, all the way down to he could finish 10th. And then Max fourth, Oscar third, and he could still win it. So Lando's got a bunch of outs. But really, he needs to finish third or better, and it's his. Oscar has to finish first. If Oscar finishes first, Lando finishes sixth or worse, then he wins. And then there's one other scenario for Oscar. So basically, Lando has a lot of outs. Max has one very real chance, and it all involves him winning, really. And then
So that's what he's been doing.
And then Oscar needs to win and even more help.
Understood. I mean, it's going to be a great weekend.
Qualifying is going to be absurd.
At 6 a.m. to watch the Grand Prix is going to suck on Sunday after holiday partying. I'm so mad.
I'm out. I'm out on that.
That's fine. I can't be. I'm dedicated, bro.
That's fine.
Caleb's like, you can record it. I'm like, Are you kidding me? My entire feed now is F1 and nerd. It's so bad. And to the point where now, like, talking about family stuff real quick, my nephew, we got him a Lego Duplo F1 set because F1's in the family now. It's freaking hilarious. But I can't miss this. I'm so excited for it. It's been a great season. It's been an exciting season with everything going on with the championship and everything changing. I'm hyped. I mean, this could very well be the race of the year, in my opinion.
So let's be honest.
I mean, I'm pulling for Max.
McLaren by not pitting when the safety car hit, like the top whatever other 8 racers did.
Yes.
Cost them that race last weekend.
Yes.
That strategy ruined them. They're also appearing to have a little bit of an issue with the pace of the car right now. To where if they're not running in clean air out front, it does not look like they necessarily have the pace to overtake potentially Verstappen the way that Red Bull car is running right now. Is that because of the questionable strategies they've used with the car itself and the plates and the expansion of said metals and things of that nature and the plank and whatever else and the ride height? And maybe.
So much.
But if they don't finish 1 and 2,
Amazing.
to start on the
Amazing.
grid, and Max has one of those top 2 spots, I very much believe Max wins. And then all things get interesting, right? Depending on where Lando and Oscar finish. Well, actually, only where Lando finishes at that point. If Max wins, Lando is the only one that can catch him. So, yeah, I think qualifying is going to be everything this race. Now, you better have a good strategy. You better have a good game plan to make sure that you hold true to what you need to during this race. And if something crazy happens, you better make the right decisions to pivot this time, because you haven't recently. But boy, man, if Max gets one of those top 2 qualifying spots, I wouldn't be saying it out loud, but I think everybody at McLaren would be feeling very nervous.
Max Verstappen. He's bringing it home. I'm pulling it for it.
Now, how does Mercedes feel then in that situation? Because Russell and Kimi are going to be sitting right there towards
They're
the
gonna
top
be chasing.
as well.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like,
So
man,
what kind of
if
strategy
they
did they use? Because there's also that standings with the Constructor Cup for second place and third place that are still up for grabs. Do they try to push as much as possible to then try to bump McLaren down so they can get as many points as possible for that Constructors Championship, if you will?
I hope so.
I mean, do you try to have Max out at that point? Like, is that what everybody's going to be thinking? Do we try to better ourselves by helping Max, or do we let things play out and we just run our strategy?
I think you just go racing. You just follow a strategy and you go racing. You don't pick a favorite. You just go.
See, maybe this is some of my NASCAR fandom coming into me, and the amount of whether your teammates or not swapping because it helps you. It's like this mutual partnership that helps both of you for a lap, maybe only 2 laps, and then you're going back with somebody else, or your teammate finally showed up. NASCAR's wild like that when it comes to their drafts and the way they move around the track and stuff. So maybe that's why I'm looking at it from that perspective and thinking about what the other teams might be doing, given the nature of the fact that there is still a battle for that second, third spot in the Constructors' Cup, and knocking McLaren down gives you even more points ahead of whoever else is behind you or whoever else is ahead of you that you're trying to. I just think it's an interesting thought. I don't know how much that goes into F1 because obviously this is our first year and we've never seen the end of the season race like this and know what everything that goes into it means. We're going to find out this year.
Yeah, we absolutely are. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend.
Pick it now. Pick it now, Robert. Call it.
Oh, it's going to be Max. It has to be Max. If it's not Max, I'm going to flip a freaking table, dude. Like.
So wait, just so I'm clear. If Lando finishes better than 4th, Lando wins.
Yep.
Yes.
Lando's winning.
Top 3, and it's his. No questions asked, regardless of what anybody else does.
Lando's winning.
Let's go, Max.
I like that call, Pinky. I like that call.
I think Oscar's gonna. I think that there's gonna be some dirty racing happening this weekend. There's gonna have to be.
I'm calling the race. I can't pick a winner. Sorry, guys. Kirk Herbstreit out.
Look, if I'm lame. Oscar, I pay some dudes to cause some shit. That's all I'm saying.
You can't throw a gauntlet and not have a freaking answer.
I honestly think there's going to be...
That's such a bitch move.
Honestly, dude. Come on, that was funny. You don't understand the reference because you aren't a big enough college football fan to truly understand where that's coming from. Neither one of you are. But it's funny. I honestly think there's going to be some shady team play, and Max is going to win.
Yeah, let's go.
I think the McLaren drivers both finished lower than fourth. Both of them. Both finished lower than fourth.
I just don't see that happening, man. Not the way they've been
Yo.
going.
If Max wins, I am waking Pinky up in his hotel room. Just be like, Max!
I think the DQ
Are you staying at Chine Mountain?
I don't know, not right now. I didn't get a room.
Yeah, you are.
I think the DQ in Vegas.
Probably am.
And then the blown strategy last week is going to weigh heavy on them late. And there's going to be some things that other teams do that put them in a position to where McLaren's going to end up having to make some passes to get back, and it's not going to work. I just have this weird feeling that something's going to upset that apple cart.
Let's go. All right.
Moving
That
on.
covers the F1. It's time to talk some nonsense and movies, baby. Caleb,
So good.
I'll let you start with this, and I'll give my opinion because I don't have kids. So,
the 4-year-old loved it. The 2-year-old loved it for her ability to comprehend and not want to just jump and run around for a little bit and stuff. But 4-year-old really liked it. I loved it. I'm a big fan of the first one, and I think this was a great expansion of that universe and a really interesting way to continue to tell the story and grow future ideas.
totally agree. From my aspect, the adult humor was phenomenal. The adult humor was great.
Very much so.
The Zebros, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. Fantastic. That was great. I loved that. All of the little celebrity cameos that came out, I had such a great time with. Phenomenal story. I mean, at this point, for me, my big question is, you know, we had the Monsters at Work Disney Plus show. Why do we not have a Zootopia Case of the Week show? Like, where's that? Because this universe has such a wide open possibility. And I don't know, Caleb, if you stayed through the end credits, but there was an end scene.
Come on now.
Hey, you
Why
got
do you
kids?
think I
don't
said
know.
it sets up for the future of...
So,
I wouldn't have said that if that wasn't...
All right, you've got kids. I just want to make sure. But no, I loved it. I big thumbs up on getting a threequel. I think this is by far Disney's second best movie of the year. Tron being first, but that's a pretty lone opinion.
That would be... I haven't seen Tron, but based on what you guys have told me and what I've read and heard, that would be a big stretch, my man.
Oh, it's a big stretch, but I'm too much of a Tron fanboy.
Dude,
so like,
I just love the soundtrack so much that like I can see the movie in my head from the soundtrack.
This movie was really good. Really good.
So yeah, no, I recommend it, Pinky. You'll get a kick out of it.
I mean, I might watch it when it's on Disney Plus. I'm not paying to go see animated movies without my kids, so
no, totally understand that. But
don't you have that movie pass that you just go see all the movies you want?
I do, but yeah, you know that
he's not.
I need to have time to do that.
You're
fair,
unemployed.
But I would
officially.
say,
What
if
do you
you've
mean?
seen
You
the
got
first
nothing
one,
but time. Hold on. No, you have nothing but time.
he's not wrong. You got a
What
couple
are you
weeks,
doing?
You can just go watch
Go to
this.
the movies. What?
If you've seen the first one, this is worth just going and hanging out on a Wednesday at 10 o'clock when you have nothing else to do.
And go to the Cinemark because they have cocktails. You can get drunk.
They've got cocktails at the mall.
Do they?
Yep.
I just haven't seen them, so.
Okay. They've got beer.
Cool.
They don't have.
Good
They
to
don't
know.
have
Oh well, they've got cocktails. They've got Jameson.
But I go to the movie for free at AMC, so that's all.
I can always get you free tickets, Pinky. You never call.
It is good. It's really good, and again,
it.
the story and the way it's set up. I'm not talking just a third movie. I'm talking 4, 5, and 6. I can already see.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm so down for this.
The way
universe.
you can run with it, Robert. You want to talk about a weekly show? Why don't they just do a straight season on The Godfather?
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. That'd be fantastic. I mean, I love that introduction and the fact that they brought them back and the daughter's now running part of the empire. Phenomenal.
Yep, you could do then a
so
season
good.
on just Nick's I can't remember his name now, but Nick's coworker, his buddy, his partner in crime, the little guy that always plays the baby.
Oh, I don't know if you ever get his name.
I can't remember, but you could do a season on just him and what the hell
dude.
he's doing while Nick's doing all this other stuff.
There's,
what are you doing?
So much.
What are you doing when you're not hustling with Nick? What's happening here?
I mean, Patrick Warburton, come on. Like,
I love that guy. Love that.
Yeah,
guy.
there's
he's
a
the
way
main character in this movie.
They could really expand this if done right, and it would be amazing. They could ruin it really quickly though, as well. So
absolutely, in the right hands, yes. But
let's see what happens.
Hands,
but
I should say.
Disney did really well with this.
Yeah,
this was
Disney
a quality
Disney
sequel.
did great. So Zootopia 2, Caleb and Spicy approved.
Better than Moana 2 and Frozen 2.
Facts. Oh, I don't know. Frozen 2 is pretty good, but
it was okay for a sequel. This was a solid standalone.
Okay, that's fair. All right. I'll maybe see eye to eye on that. I need to come around to it, but it's there.
Also, if you're having any doubts, Shakira is in this movie. So let's just.
I mean, yeah, but.
What do you mean, yeah, anyway,
but? I mean, Idina Menzel's not too bad. I mean, true.
It's
Shakira. Who doesn't like Shakira?
You're not wrong.
You know who doesn't like Shakira? Nazis.
Her ex-husband. He's such an idiot. Anyway. Moving on. Next movie. Pinky. If you would be so kind.
I am ready. Hold on. There we go.
Caleb.
Heard good things about this.
This was awesome. I've seen some comments say it was a little long. I thought it was perfect timing. I heard thought it was really did a good job.
Wow, I'm drawing a blank on the phrasing of this, but a truthful adaptation to the source material, or however you want to say that. Why am I drawing a blank on the right way to say that?
A faithful adaptation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, no, this was a very faithful adaptation to the book. Maybe some slight changes. They did have to change the ending, but they did it tastefully, and it was very well done. It wasn't like some of the other Stephen Kings where they changed the ending and you're like, WTF.
Right.
But no, they did a fantastic job with this. Glenn Powell, awesome.
Can he be the next action star? Can we start seeing him get pushed a little bit as far as like?
I think he already is.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, in like the, for lack of a better comparison, because this isn't really good because he is the standard, but like Tom Cruise, like
so that's
Jason Statham maybe is a better example. Like, could he be the next guy you see kind of taking over the genre?
To a point, yes, because actually when Glenn Powell landed the role, he and Tom Cruise chatted for hours about what he's gonna do, and Tom Cruise is like, film yourself running because you don't look as cool as you think you do. And so like there was a lot of things that happened there with Tom Cruise, even with this movie, that helped it become, I think, great. I mean, it's definitely one of the movies that I think should be getting more attention. I think the story was great. The action was great. Michael Cera was hilarious. I just need 5 minutes. I think by far one of the best like Edgar Wright adaptations done in a while.
Like, and I like Edgar Wright movies.
Scott Pilgrim, great. I mean, I personally enjoyed this over both of those. And I love Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim, I live by. I loved this. Running Man, definitely solid 8.5 out of 10. There are great cameos in it. I don't know if you caught some of that, Pinky, on the dollars on who that was. If not, it was Arnie. Arnie is the face of the new currency. So that was awesome. Along with some other little nuances. But yeah, no, phenomenal movie. I'm excited to get it.
Edgar Wright did really well in this movie. Because it's an action movie. There's some comedy in it. But man, that is a scary, futuristic world that I want no part of. Like, that world is
Dude,
scary.
That was scary. And that's, like, the book is based in 2025. That's wild.
So, yeah, I am, like, that movie, like, he did a great job. Because, again, in the back of my mind, I was just still thinking about the ethics of society, the morals of society. Like there's still that's in the background throughout the whole movie of how society acts.
Has just fallen apart.
Yeah, just falling apart. That this is something that people cheer for,
Mm-hmm.
of killing someone for sport. Now again,
Ancient Rome, baby.
as part of the story,
That's part of what they
make the Running Man look like an evil, really low life guy that should get killed. That's what they do.
and that's part of the whole story. And so I don't want to like give away too much because Caleb, I don't know if you've read the book or anything at all, but
Caleb don't read.
That's hurtful.
Man.
That was hurtful.
Wow.
He watches too much sports to read. Don't.
Oof.
It's not the case. I know because Lord of the Rings and other things. But anyway,
I've read that too.
It's a short book, Caleb, but it's phenomenal. So totally on the Robert's watch list of the year. Recommend list. Please get out, see this movie, I'm sure it'll be coming streaming soon. I'm waiting for my physical copy to come in myself. So
very entertaining.
Loved it.
Glenn Powell did a good job. I want to go back and watch the original now just to kind of remember seeing that.
That's fair. I got 2 more topics. Pinky, I don't know if you've got the Stranger Things one by chance for me. Yeah.
He's all, yeah, do bitch. Look at this.
Let's go. Season 5 is off to a hot start. I'm really enjoying it. Definitely have a few surprises up their sleeves already. Soundtrack, of course, does not miss. It's great. I don't know if anyone else has gotten to see it here in the group yet, so I don't want to give away too many things.
Yet. I need to take some time to sit down and watch it. How many episodes is it for this?
There's only 4 out right now, and they're each about an hour apiece.
Yeah, you guys can spoil this away if you want to. I don't give a shit.
I can't say anything right now because I know Pinky watches it. So
I do watch Stranger Things.
I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with some of the celebrity, or not celebrity, but big name actors, I guess, that from the 80s make an appearance. So very, very much looking forward to seeing where this continues on Christmas. I actually made, after Thanksgiving dinner and everything, my dad and I came back to my apartment, and then after about 45 minutes, I was like, all right, I need you to leave. He's like, why? I'm like, I'm sorry, but I know you won't watch it with me, but I need to watch Stranger Things. And I watched all 4 episodes. It was fantastic. I was so dead tired the next day and kind of had some regrets, but it was so worth it because I didn't finish till like 2 a.m., but it was awesome. Awesome.
You know, the 80s nostalgia is what I loved about season 3. I thought season 3 did like the best job.
That's fair.
Of making you feel like you were in the 80s. Man, that's what I really enjoy about the show because it just brings me back to my childhood.
That's awesome. No, so definitely Stranger Things, awesome. They brought one of my favorite scenes of any movie into their universe, in their own spin, and I highly respect it. Definitely in one of the top entrances of all time, in my opinion. So I'm all in. I'm excited to see where the ending is going to take us.
All right, I'll have to get that in. I'll have to get that in this week.
The tickets actually went on sale to go catch the finale in theaters, so I'm actually thinking about buying a ticket. We'll see though.
Well, how many more episodes do we have?
There's I think another 4
I
total.
I thought they were breaking it up into like 3 different releases.
So they're doing Christmas, and then the finale comes out on New Year's.
Okay.
Let me check how many episodes come out. So yeah, you're gonna get another 3 episodes, 5, 6, and 7 on Christmas, and then on New Year's Eve you have the finale, which is 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's longer than Fantastic Four.
Okay.
So I'm excited. We're buckling up for a great final season of a show. Hopefully it sticks the landing. But yeah, love Stranger Things. Pinky, can't wait to talk about it with you once you get caught up, man. Final thing to go hand in hand. I know, Pinky, this is kind of a last minute topic, so I apologize. There's no graphic for this. But Avatar is coming out in a little over 2 weeks. And outside of just having the pure curiosity of seeing how they potentially wrap this up, depending on how successful it is also going to be a opportunity to see the very first few minutes of Odyssey, supposedly coming out in IMAX in an IMAX theater only, and the first look at Avengers Doomsday. So pretty big things coming out with that. I'm hoping Avatar is going to be good. I know, Caleb, you enjoy the universe. I'm kind of indifferent on it. I kind of feel like it's been a little bit of a recycle. 2 wasn't awesome in my opinion. I liked 1. I didn't enjoy 2 as much, but I'm committed.
1 was incredible. 2 suffered because it took so long to come out. Had 1, 2, and 3 come out consecutively, I think for lack of a better way of saying it, I think that's the full picture. And then 4 and 5 get to expand on it because everybody knows his plan was 5. But 2 suffers because I think it's one of those things where it needs to be like they're on the run. You need to be able to tell that story and how they move forward into finding a permanent home again. But because it came out so late, it lost the impact of what they were truly doing. And then it felt like they're just living in Waterworld. No, they weren't. They were on the run. But you didn't feel that urgency. The idea of 3 being such that it creates this wild dichotomy where, based on what I know about the story and what's come out right now, you get a tribe of the native people that AWA does not protect and save from devastation. AWA, by all accounts, is going to let a natural disaster happen and let the dominoes fall where they may, if you will. Whereas in the other situation, AWA intervened and saved a tribe after a non-natural disaster took away their home. And how that pulls on who's right and who's wrong and what they're doing and the morality issues and the way you could argue for both sides then, I think is a really cool idea. How that plays out, how the story goes from there will be interesting because you're also then pulling in the other people like the main character, Sully, who are native but not native, who are now trying to find ways to basically destroy the Sullys, and they'll team up with anybody, but they're really arguably maybe no longer avatars. They're now part of the people. They just are part of the people that don't think Sully's the savior. I think there's a lot of push and pull that could go really well, but could also fall really flat. And so that's why I'm really interested to see what Fire and Ash has to offer.
Totally
I feel
agree.
that, man. I still liked 2. It just there was just so much of a distance between the 2 movies that it was just like it didn't have the same feeling.
And that's one thing that I'll be honest, there was a deal on Amazon for Black Friday that I couldn't pass up, to where I got collector's editions of both, to where I actually got the extended cut of Avatar, which I've never seen. So gonna watch those back to back once I have them both and see where that goes.
That sounds like a long fucking day.
Pinky, we watched all 3 Lord of the Rings extended editions for New Year's Eve.
Hold on. My son and I watched all 3 Lord of the
Well,
Rings.
I was sick as crap. But regardless,
you were in the room, but
yeah,
you didn't watch
I was
it.
dying. I was sick as hell. But again, I mean, it's no different from watching that in one go. So this is just another version of that. And I mean, to be quite honest, it's, if I were to never even watch Lord of the Rings, it's the same as watching The Godfather. Like, it doesn't... Long movies entertain me more than movies that are short and sweet. Like
Godfather 3 is a bit of a letdown still compared to the first 2, unfortunately.
I completely agree, but the recut of it that came out is fantastic, and I will rewatch that version so much more.
I will ask you this, Robert. What's your take on 7 Years in Tibet?
I mean, I like it.
That's a rough one.
Cool. I'm a big fan of that. I wouldn't say a big fan, but I do enjoy that movie. I thought it was a good story.
7 years
Crazy,
into bed,
insane
I
long,
think
and most
is-
people can't even get through it and just give up. I really liked it.
Casablanca.
So that's where I was curious. Long movies.
Gone with the Wind. I mean, again, some of those movies now I can't stand Sound of Music.
What?
I can't stand that movie.
Dude, that movie's
I can't do Sound of
awesome.
Music. It makes me
That's
so
a great
mad.
movie, man.
The history within that
The
movie
history
that's
behind
playing
it
out is absurd.
is great. I love it. I cannot stand the movie. It makes me so mad.
Farewell,
That's
adieu, Avita, say goodbye.
No, I
don't even like musicals, and I enjoy Sound of Music.
No, dude. I can't.
Sound of Music ain't a musical, it's a movie.
Yeah, it's closer to a musical.
It is definitely a musical.
I can't. Now, I will say, in my statement, it is something that I will be rewatching soon. I don't know when soon will be, but it is on the 250 list of movies.
How many times have you seen it?
I've seen it like maybe twice, and
When?
I was little, probably like.
I think you'll have a
between
much
7
better
to 12.
appreciation for it now.
We'll
Right.
see. We'll see. I can't promise when soon will be, but I will get to it.
I watched that with my kids. They loved it. There's just certain movies that, again, as you get older, you understand more. There's a
Sure.
lot of, like, again, Nazis, all that.
Although
As you understand it now, I think it'll make more sense.
How the
Speaking of
aristocrats
this-
tried to navigate that whole situation, and it's pretty. Yeah, it's a musical, but man.
now now I'm not trying to compare these two in any sort of nature. It's just they are in somewhat related in as far as the ranking list is concerned. Caleb, as much money as the first Avatar made and how long it stayed in theaters, it is not on that list at all.
I think that's because critics want to poo-poo it as a Dancing with Wolves.
It's not critics. This is all user rating. This is
It's
all
Fern Gully.
users.
Well, I'm just saying, Fern Gully is an example. People try to. I think it's
Literally Fern Gully.
that narrative, Robert. I think has gotten pushed so hard that people don't want to see it for its unique own created world and storyline.
I
Me
would
personally.
I don't think it's its own storyline, but the world itself, yeah.
I would just tell
But see,
people
I hate that
visually.
because everything's a version of something else. If you start going down that road, nothing's original until you go. Like, I don't even know how far back you have to trace it to get to that. Everything has been influenced by something else. As much as you want to think your idea is original, somebody's going to see it and go, yeah, but that's just this. Look at what Quentin Tarantino's doing right now to the whole Mockingjay. What is that?
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games. He's saying it's a complete ripoff of something. I can't remember what it was
Japan Battle Royale.
Thank you. Yep. And he's all of a
Battle
sudden,
Royale's
Quentin Tarantino decided now's a good time to bring that up and blast it for that.
He's on a whole thing right now. He's calling Paul Dano one of the worst and laziest SAG actors around.
I'm just saying, there's always going to be some. If you start going down that road, in my opinion, unless it's a legit complete ripoff, like almost like line for line kind of scene for scene kind of thing, everything's going to be based and influenced on something else. So I think Avatar is a unique original story.
I guess. I mean, again, I enjoyed Avatar for the setting itself. I don't think overall, like, it's that great of a movie, but I'm committed. I'm going to see where the rest of it goes, and we'll see.
I mean,
Avatar
Robert, you want to hear something really
visually
wild that just popped into my head? And this is not, there's obviously this is not going to be true, so don't get angry. But for someone who's never seen Star Wars, if they just watched Andor, that was their first introduction, they could walk out of that going, damn, they kind of just ripped off Avatar.
No.
Mining a planet for minerals to basically destroy it.
In season 2, sure, but
Again, you're saying no and angry. I just said that because you know everything about Star Wars. But if you had come into it as not knowing anything about Star Wars and you just watched season 2 of Andor, you're going to be like, so they're mining this planet to just get a mineral out of it? That, like, weren't they just doing that in Avatar and trying to wipe out the people?
And they're not going. They're going for the things from the spider.
I'm just saying, this is how easily, if you start going down that road of it's based on something else, it's not original, how easily somebody else can say it. You can. It's just a bad road to go down, unless it's
but you're also talking to a person that who knows Star Wars was influenced by a multitude of things. Seven Samurai. Dune.
I know, that's why I feel like I could give you that. That's part of
Star Wars' identity. But again, the thing is that it's been done so much. Avatar doesn't provide anything unique in that storytelling outside of its visual concept and where the story takes place.
What other movie gives you the ability of the Avatar? Like, in that sense, in that way, doing it that way. There isn't. There isn't another franchise or movie that does it like that.
Dune.
Dune doesn't do it like that.
Yes, it does.
Not that's been portrayed thus far. Maybe in the book, and I'm not aware of that. Fine.
Yeah. Dune.
But again, Dune hasn't done it yet to where it's a wide audience.
Because
on
Dune
the
is
big
one of
screen.
the many things that can't. It's hard to adapt, and it's one of the many.
Okay, but
filmography myths.
So
Dune can't be adapted.
You could say this was influenced by some of what Dune's done. But It's still an original story in and of the fact that think about the universe that they could expand this on if somebody ever wanted to. What is Earth doing? And how did they find this planet? And what else is going on in this universe that this mineral is being pumped out now the way that it is? Like, we're getting such a minute snapshot of this world, this universe, that I think it's cool.
I mean, no, absolutely. But, and I know this isn't down, like, your path of movies or anything like that, but those exact questions you asked are the same questions I've been asking about the Alien universe for years.
That's fair.
So, and again, it's the same type of thing. It's like, okay, so what's happening on Earth? Why are we all out here in space colonies and all these other things? So, like, you're masking it in different ways, and sure, but for me, it's, like... Avatar isn't one of those that I would place in the top 250, and there are some movies on there that I would argue shouldn't be on there anyway. But I don't see Avatar working its way in there, in my own opinion.
I mean, kind of what Pinky was saying. I think based on just the visuals and what it did on the cinematography side of things is worthy of top 250 all time.
It's a movie I would tell people to watch. Just because it is visually stunning. And that's all I got to say about that.
There you go. It's no Dark Knight, that's for sure.
It's not many things are, buddy.
I mean, that's why the Dark Knight is on 250. It's unique in that aspect. I don't think Avatar provides that much of a unique element.
But I'd put Dark Knight in the top 10 for me. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're arguing maybe potentially top of the list compared to, middle bottom of the list. Like, that's not necessarily a fair comparison. Like, what's at the bottom? What's sitting at like 230, 240, 250? What's sitting down there? That's what I would want to know.
Let's see. The Iron Giant's 239. Stand By Me is 238. 230 exact is the Hotel Rwanda.
Never saw it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I haven't seen that.
That sounds depressing.
Well, here's the thing. Like, there's stuff that I like watching. Like, I'm all for a good movie like that. I just never saw that one. But I bet there's a lot of things higher up on the list that are going to be the artsy stuff. The Cannes Festival, the Sundance Festival, some of those indie movies, if you will, that I wouldn't even put on the list or think twice about. And I bet
actually the top 10 are like the most wild movies. It's so Shawshank, Godfather, Dark Knight, Godfather 2, 12 Angry Men, Return of the King, Schindler's List, Fellowship, Pulp Fiction, Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
That's all really good movies.
Fellowship is 7. I believe.
I put Two Towers over both of those Lord of the
Two
Rings
Towers
movies.
is 11.
If anybody's like, I gotta watch Lord of the Rings, I'm like Two Towers. The rest of the
Dude,
other ones,
right?
Two
Come
Towers.
on.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty solid top 10. And then you start thinking like, then you look at the AMC list kind of thing, and then you start talking about the Casablancas and things of that nature. That as they age, you may not see as much because you get the cancel culture and the inability to realize what that was for the times and the story it was telling in that era, and you judge it based on today's standards, and then it loses a lot of what it is.
I have a hard time with a lot of those old movies, mainly because like the overacting is tough for me, but I'll still look at it as like storyline. But
I will say I had similar thoughts until I took a couple different film classes in college, and learning the backstories and the history of the industry and the eras and what all went into what they had to do to make those films, and
Yep.
procedures and codes and everything else, FCC and whatnot.
Wild.
Interesting.
Totally different area.
Yeah,
Totally different era.
it makes it gives it new perspective for sure. So
well, that's all I got for nonsense. I don't know, we went over a little bit, but nerds and sports.
nerds and sports. That's exactly right.
final thoughts, good sir Pinky, hit me.
Hey guys, well, I will be out next Tuesday. I appreciate you guys covering me. And the next time you guys see me, I will have seen the greatest of all time wrestle for his last time. So I will tell you all about it with all the details. My wife is so excited to go. Should be a great weekend in Washington, D.C.
Miss that place. Make sure you go to. I don't know how long you're going to be there, but if you can, go to Alexandria.
No, dude, this is a quick trip. Like we are,
Okay.
like we're pretty much staying.
Flying in, crash at the hotel, wake up, get breakfast, go to the
Solid.
arena, watch the show, go home,
Leave.
fall asleep, fly out.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much. The wife's like, we're not seeing anything. I was like, yeah, probably not. If there's some meet and greets, we're not doing anything. If there's not
Nice.
meet and greets, we'll go walk by the White House. We'll go walk by a couple things because we're right there. But other than that, yeah, it'll be
Nice.
It'll
Nice,
be in and out.
We got you covered. Go enjoy the time, my man.
Yep.
Robert,
No worries.
final thoughts?
Oh man, are we not entertained right now by just not only the great sports that is F1 and football and soccer right now because of qualifiers, and like it's just fantastic to be a sports guy. And I mean the nerd stuff is just happening constantly. TV, movies, can't go wrong. Zootopia for the family, Running Man for a date night. Glenn Powell's naked in it. Like your wife will love it. Can't go wrong. So, yeah, we're entertained, people. We are entertained.
Sports calendar's crazy coming up from now all the way through the end of the year. Christmas Day is absurd. If you haven't seen that layout, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. On a nerd side, finish Andor. Boy, is that going to have to need a very good conversation.
I'm so
incredible.
happy. About damn time.
We've got a new show. Well, not a new show, but a new show for us to discuss weekly coming up with season 2 of Fallout. So that's going to be wonderful.
Whoop.
Yeah, it's a lot coming up and going on. So very excited. Last thing I will say also on the nerd side is it sounds like somehow HBO is going to do a couple more spinoffs and fix season 8 of GOT. That should be interesting to see how they completely change and fix and make it work, and it actually is incredible and everything's great going forward, or they fumble it so bad it's going to make everything even worse and they're going to wish they had just stopped after like the Red Wedding. So that'll be fun to see. Should have stopped
at season 6.
I'm just saying, like, how you correct that now, like that's out there, everybody's seen it. I don't know how you fix it, so good luck, HBO. And Mr. I'm not going to ever finish my books and leave everybody miserable and pissed off. Good luck with that. On that note, you have time with your inner circle, family, loved one, friends. Do not take those moments for granted. Cherish them. Take advantage of them whenever you can. You know we do. Appreciate all the love and support. Like, follow, share. Please send this to somebody. Let them know. Argue. Hate a take. Love a take. Ask us to talk about something. Jump in and converse. We're just trying to do something for fun and get people talking in a way that doesn't create hate. Crazy idea, I know. Till next week, appreciate everybody. We're out.
Pinky in the building, reppin' orange and blue. Broncos country, yeah, you know how we do. High take so wild, you remember the name. From college ball to the pros, Caleb spitting game. Robert here, the pop culture plug. From comics to racing, pour the drink in the mug. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, yeah, bold talk. Good laughs and a glass in the air. Sports, nonsense and whiskey, right? Kick back, tune in, take a wild side.